3 days, folks. That's all that's left before midterm elections. And voters across the country, and Black voters especially, they are still concerned about suppression, intimidation. I'm talking about at the polls, and quite honestly, the country's democracy as a whole. Today, the last in our series of conversations with the presidents of the Divine Nine historically Black-led organizations starts with Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Alpha Kappa Alpha has more than 325,000 initiated members with graduate and undergraduate chapters in 12 countries. Alpha Kappa Alpha's mission is service to all mankind. And with that, we welcome the international president of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated, Danette Anthony Reed. Welcome to you, Madam President. I want to start with the National Panhellenic Council garden at the University of Florida being vandalized. This is in what's understood to be the third incident like this. The university's president says that letters were removed from 4 of the 9 monuments honoring Black sororities and fraternities that were chartered at the University of Florida. He went on to say, "We condemn the acts against it and will work for the perpetrators to be found and swiftly brought to justice." I have to say, it really just feels like incidents like this are happening all too often nowadays. Are you concerned?
I'm very concerned, but first, let me thank you for having me on the show. And also thank you for bringing together the Divine Nine to let us share our platforms. And yes, we condemn vandalism of any of our monuments. But let me tell you this, you can vandalize our monuments, but you're not going to diminish our spirit or take away or distract us from the problems and things at hand. We're going to go out and vote.
President Reed, talk to me a little bit about you all's Soar to the Polls voter initiative. It's focused on voter education, registration, and also mobilization. How is that being put into action with 3 days left to go?
You know what? We are very active with this program. So we have an International Connection and Social Action Committee. That committee has 10 members who represent the 10 regions within our organization. And then besides that, they work with representatives, state representatives. So now we have the 50 states representatives who work with our 1,060 chapters across the country. So now we've got a team that's out there. Soar to the Polls started with voters education. And what we did is go out and did several things to make sure that we educate our members on where can you go to vote? How do you go to vote? Are you sure that you are active and can get to the polls like you need to get to the polls, and that you can know that there are different ways that you can vote. You can either vote by mail, you can vote by pledge, but make sure that you're able to get out there and get your ballot.
You know, President Reed, I guess my last question to you is, what all of the organizations, all the Divine Nine, you all have come together to really mobilize. And I would like to say that this is not the end, but the beginning. What is next for you all after November 8th?
After November 8th, we cannot stop. So we have to still continue with the other 2 areas that we have. We will continue to work on voter registration, and that is to make sure that we get as many of our members deputized so that we can go out and help get members in our community ready to vote. And then also voter squads. We have voter squads where we're trying to get members not only from our organization, but in the community and in families and in your church families to make sure that we can pull to get folks to vote. And so we're working on things like take 2 with you to vote. Take 2. And that way you can make sure that we bring folks to vote starting now and then in the future.
Now and in the future. Danette Anthony Reed, the international president of Alpha Kappa Alpha Sorority Incorporated. Thank you very much for your time. Thank you.
Thank you.